All right, so yesterday morning, went over to the church to mow the church lawn, and the tires were flat on the front of the mower. And one of them took air, the other one didn't. And you can see here, this tire's chewed up all the way around the outside. And what it is, whoever assembled this mower from the factory, whenever it was at whatever dealership sold it, just basically threw it together, and there's some spacers that are supposed to space these wheels out a little bit. And you can see there's not a whole lot of room. If you have the spindle, there's not a whole lot of room, clearance on the tire. So the spacers are needed to push the legs of the spindle out so they don't rub on the tire. And those are missing. And so this tire's got, the lawnmower's got like 25, it's probably got about 30 hours on it now. But the tires are trashed. I got that one already done, pulled it out, cleaned it up, and there was a ton of green stuff in here, the green slime to seal it. So I've still got this other one to do, and I'm going to show you, you can do these at home. It kind of stinks, it's kind of a pain in the butt, but once you get a handle on it, they're not hard. And you'll save yourself some money from going to I'm looking at it, $60 for tires, and if I were to take it down to a little tire shop on the corner, I'd probably get charged $20 or $30 more to have the tires swapped onto the wheels. I bought the special tool, the inflator. These tires look like they're wide enough on the rim that I don't think they'll have a problem sealing, but I know on a lot of lawnmower tires, the smaller you get, you can't get that bead seat. And I've got the special tool, basically it's like a potato gun. It's got a big dump valve on it. You pull the trigger and it shoots a bunch of air in there. And I've got that tool after doing several lawnmower tires and having to take them down to have the bead seated. I went ahead and bought that tool myself, and that's all that guy down the tire shop uses, so it works. So first thing you want to do is chuck this up. I've got the spindle bolt that I'm using to hold this in place. That is tight. Oh yeah, I'm right on the. Okay, so I've already taken I've got a little screwdriver and pulled out the valve and got the air out of it. And you have to break the bead. You've got to break the bead first and get this down off of this part. But you can see on the wheel how the wheel comes in and it goes in. Whenever you break the bead, you want to be able to get it down below that lip there so that whenever you pry on this side of the tire can slide under that. So, breaking the bead is probably the toughest part, especially when somebody's used green stuff on it. But there you go, that one came apart easier than I thought it would. The green stuff lubed it up. So, what you're going to do is make sure this side will slide under that lip, and this side you're going to pry up over like that. Now once I've got it done like that, I'm going to get this other pry bar in next to it. And Bob's your uncle. Now I've got to pop the bottom off the bead. And I was able to do that by hand. And there is a soup of green slime in here. There is a ton of it. Pardon me for a second while I mop that up. I think I'm going to leave this running just so you can see it all drip out while I'm going to get this. Looks like a nuclear experiment from The Simpsons. Oh, that's going to smell wonderful with that gear oil. So now that I've got the bottom loose, basically I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to try to get it. I can almost do this by hand, but I can't, or I won't. Oh, see, that's not into that lip. There we go. It's not quite ready to come loose, and I'm getting more and more of this stuff on my fingers, making everything slippery. I've heard rumors that some shops, if they find the green slime, they stop working on a tire and tell you to take it. I can see why. This is a mess. But at the same time, if I ran a shop and somebody brought me a tire with green slime, you know, that's Tell them they got green slime in the tire and you can charge them extra and make your money, you know? Don't turn away work just because you don't like it. There we go. Look at that down in there. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. Alright, this is a mess. It is. Don't green slime your tires. Patch kits are cheap. Tires aren't terribly expensive. I get the new tires tomorrow. I ordered them from Tractor Supply, and they had a price that was just as competitive as Amazon's. And you know, at Amazon you can get some really cheap stuff sometimes. And I don't think Tractor Supply is going to sell me anything that's horribly bad. May not be the best, maybe a budget tire, but I can always take it back to them because they have a local store. Alright, I finally got the new tires in. Before I go to stick them on here, I want to show you. See how this is much narrower there? That's where you're sliding this tire down onto to get it over the bead. So I'm going to get these tires on. Been a bit of a challenge. I ordered these on Sunday. They were supposed to come in on Monday, and I ordered them from Tractor Supply. And honestly, I was looking at Amazon, I was looking at Tractor Supply, and Tractor Supply had almost the same price as Amazon, and they said they can have them the next day. And I was impressed. These are Carlisle tires. They're not some cheapskate, off-brand, whatever. And I was happy to deal with a business where I can go see the people personally. And they didn't get the tires in. And they still didn't get the tires in. It's Wednesday now. I've called their customer service and talked to them, and honestly, Tractor Supply did me a solid. They really did. It cost me, they ended up giving me a refund on a fair amount of the cost of the tires. And, I did have to drive a ways to get them from another store. But I've got the tires. I can put them on the church lawnmower and have it running for this weekend. So that's a win for me. So I'm going to start chucking these wheels up and see if I can get these tires on them. And let you watch as I've done this a few times. So it's not rocket science, but I figured you might want to see how to do this. And if you have some silicone spray, a lot of times that'll help slick that up, and I do have some. I got used to using silicone spray when I was a technician, and when you're dealing with rubber seals like oil filters, instead of, I used to put a dab of the old oil on the oil filters. Now I just use silicone spray. It'll help that tire slide in place. Well, trust me, I've done this before. It's just not working right this time. I'll try to figure out what I'm doing different. Alright, I forgot to use channel locks. zero-turn tires are a fair amount smaller than the tires on my lawnmower. They're tricky to work with. All right, and there we go, the tires on the bead. Did you see what I did there? No, you didn't. I jumped in my car and went down to the hardware store, and the guy there helped me install them. Sometimes you got to learn when to farm stuff out. I fought with these wheels and tires for 2 days and did not succeed in getting them on the bead. I took it down to the hardware store, and the guy set a pallet of concrete bags on one side of the tire, which squished it down enough to get it to slide into the bead. You can't do this without, at home without special tools. Possibly I could have chucked it up like this in the vise, but my vise really doesn't open that wide, not securely, and then I would still struggle with holding the wheel steady while wrenching it. So if you got to do these zero-turn mower front wheels, take them to a tire shop or your hardware store where the guy's got a forklift and a pallet. The guy who did it, got to thank him. Can't thank him enough. Did a bang-up job. So yeah, learn that lesson. Do what you can do and learn when you can't. But at least I tried, and that's the thing. You don't know what you can and can't do if you don't try it.